Hi everyone, so welcome to a very special edition of the Master Implementer interview series. Today we have Gabriel Wong, right? So even for personally, right, Gabriel Wong is someone that's really influenced what I've been doing up to today for the past couple of months. He's one of the guys that started me out in my journey and I've learned so much from him. But before we begin, right, Gabriel, thank you so much for coming to this interview. It's really a pleasure to have you on board.
Yeah.
But we'd like us to share a bit about your story and how do you get started to what you are doing today.
Yeah. So thank you for having me. Where do you want me to start from?
Yeah, I guess back when you started into the whole sales and whatnot, I think that'd be a very powerful story. Yeah.
I started out doing, so long story short, I started out doing sales when I was 16 years old. I joined sort of like an MLM company for like 7 over years. And I did really very well for them. That was when I first got exposed to this whole world of making money and taking action and all this hustling stuff, right? So I've been hustling for 7 years, and I made about at least a $50 million revenue for this company I was working with.
Over a period of what time?
Over a period of about 6 to 7 years.
6 to 7 years.
Yeah, and that was like so. By the time I hit 21 years old, I had like more than 2,000 people under my team.
Wow.
Active people under my team, and this was like way before like social media was even like very popular. But the downside came when I was somewhere around 22 years old, when I realized that the company that I was working for turns out to be a Ponzi scheme.
Okay.
So it's a story that I've been telling all the time, and what was troublesome was that when I decided to leave the company, because I was so deep in it, right? I kind of represented the company in many ways, because although I'm just a salesperson, but I was like the leader, I was like the number one sales, and so everybody saw me as like, part of them. And that was a very tough struggle for me, because when I first left, I lost everything because I reinvested all my money and everything in this company as well. I went into a very huge debt at 22 years old. So I went from like living the high life, the good life, a lot of money to, literally, I can't even afford bacon.
Oh wow!
When I went to buy groceries, and yet at the same time, it was mentally it was a challenge, because I was constantly faced with death threats. So in short, when I left, when I found that kind of like, they were not legit, I was in self-denial. Actually, I kind of knew maybe 5 years in, but I was too deep. I didn't want to admit it, So when I finally got out, I was speaking out against them on social media, trying to warn people against them, tell people why I'm out, and also in a way trying to clear my name, that hey, I don't run those company, I'm just a salesperson. And I started receiving death threat, because ultimately we cannot link it to them, but it's very obvious, because when we're in there, that's their culture. Every time someone leaves them, they will always
flame.
They will always blame on these people, and then they will always send people to them. Anyone who dare to speak out will always receive some kind of threats and voodoo stuff at their house. And there was once we heard a story about, so that was my ex-mentor, they were all laughing about how this guy was speaking out against us, right? Then they send like a box full of cockroach to their house, and they all laugh about it. So that's also one of the reasons why I didn't dare to leave, because like we all laugh about it, but it's like internally that if you leave, this may happen to you. So that happened to me. At the same time, those people who were under my company, under my team in a way, right? They invested in this company and all that stuff. They had to find someone to blame. And I was the one to blame, because I was the salesperson. I was the middleman. So I was attacked on both sides. I was attacked on the side from people who trusted me. In a way, I let them down as well. And on the other side, I was attacked by my ex-mentor, people that I look up to, I trusted. So I was struggling really bad, internally, because I lost all my friends on one side. On the other side, I lost my so-called father figure. They were like a spiritual father. So that was when I knew that I had to start a business. I had no business experience. I only know how to run sales. And I thought that I could, since I can sell anything, I was so good at selling something, I can start any business, I can just restart, right? Turns out I was wrong. Because you can be a good salesperson, but it takes another whole set of skills, another whole set of skill set to be an entrepreneur, to be a businessman. And I didn't know that, right? And in fact, there's a saying that all good entrepreneurs are good salespeople, but not every good salespeople is a good entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So that was me. I was the good salesperson, but not a good entrepreneur. And I struggled. Every business I started, I just failed. I failed. I lost more money. I get myself into deeper debts. And that was kind of how I started. And I realized that I knew sales, and there was another important component, which is marketing. I didn't know marketing. I thought I knew marketing. Then I realized that actually it's a separate thing, right? Marketing is about getting the leads, attracting the prospects who's ready to be pitched. And sales is actually pitching the actual deal, right? So if I'm not good at marketing, then who am I going to sell to? So that was my problem. So that was the start of my journey. I decided to venture into marketing. Started out with the whole Facebook stuff. And eventually this whole thing led into a digital marketing agency that I run right now.
Okay, so thanks for sharing, right? The initial I'm sure there was filled with a lot of hardship and a lot of conflict in your side, right? So as a 22-year-old boy when you left the business, right? What was that thing that made you say, I'm going to quit, I'm going to leave? So I like you said, there were about 5 years that you have been getting a bit, in your mind you already knew that something was up, but what made you finally make the decision to quit and all? Because it must have been a very difficult and courageous decision, to say the least.
Up front, I started going church. I don't know, there was something about that. Because in their culture, we used to, the culture is a very cult-like culture. Nothing wrong with drinking, but we were drinking 6 nights a week. They were dabbling with we were dabbling with all kinds of vices. Long story short. And it just wasn't, it was a destructive lifestyle, being in their culture. And you don't see anything wrong with that because people surrounding me are like that. And, because it's also a very cult-like culture, everything my ex-mentors say, we would always just agree, yes, we become a yes man, right? And we will believe everything they say. And, even when things go bad, when the investment didn't turn out well, they will always have some kind of excuse and some kind of story, and we will always buy into the whole story. So what happened was that someone asked me to go to church. I didn't want to go, but I knew I was living a destructive lifestyle. I was also depressed. I was suicidal because of the lifestyle I was living in. And so I said, why not? There's a 5:30. So the idea is that at first I said no because I thought church is always in the morning. We always drink on Saturday night. So there's no way I will wake up at 3 p.m. There's no way I can go to church. And this person told me that no, there's a 5:30 service, 5:30 p.m. I'm like, really? Really? There's a 5:30 service? I went there, started listening. In a way, I accepted Christ. And then from there, it's just very strange. Since then, every time I meet my ex-mentor, it's almost like now everything they say, I can tell is bullshit. There was just this change. I don't know what caused that change. There was just this change that there was something inside me was telling me I need to get out of this.
The awareness.
There was this awareness. I need to get out of this lifestyle. I need to get out of this culture. I need to get out of this environment. Is destroying me. And so that was when I decided. It wasn't like a overnight thing. Of course, it was like over about a year. I forgot when was the time that I decided to say no, but it was just like a gradual. I distanced myself away further. And I think maybe the biggest moment was that when I started to distance myself, I started to hear my ex-mentor, pushing all the blame on me already.
Okay. So even before you quit, there was a lot of things that were...
like something happened. Because I think they knew I was trying to distance. And then I started to see another side of them.
All right.
And that was when I know that I have to get out of it.
Okay. All right. So when you left the company, right, and then how long did it take for you between that period and when you decided to actually start a business, or was it meant to be like an instant?
I think it was almost instant.
Okay.
Because I was making a pretty good income of 6 figures a month, and I was living a pretty crazy lifestyle. And I didn't have the right values installed in me. I didn't save money, not like you guys. You guys are investors, right? I wish I knew all that when I was younger, setting aside money and all that. I didn't learn that. In fact, I think it was a culture that we were taught to earn and spend. So that when we don't have money, we will continue to fight harder, right? Fight harder for them, right? So it's kind of like a cycle. So when I left, I lost all my income. I went into debts. All I knew was that I needed a way to kind of get out of that situation. And that was that, So right after I already started I tried something. I tried some startups.
Yeah.
Didn't work out, and
Yeah.
that was when I realized that like, I needed to upgrade myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now moving to where you are right now, right? I mean, like you are managing like budgets of like 6 to 7 digits. You are doing very well in the causes that you are promoting and whatnot.
Yeah.
So what have been some of the biggest challenges you have faced so far? Was it a very smooth selling journey,
Yeah.
or like what are some of the things that have like caused you to take a step back? Like, is this really for me? Have there been times when you doubted yourself?
Yeah.
And how has the journey been like so far? Yeah.
Okay. So, if you say, was there any time I doubted myself?
Yeah.
I think all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's the challenge. Because it's a space that I have never touched. Marketing is never something that I've learned. You know, I didn't learn marketing when I was young. I only knew sales, right? So when I first started learning marketing, I didn't even know how to. So first of all, I didn't even know how to write sales copywriting.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to create a landing page,
Yeah.
right? I didn't know how to set all this integration up, you know, with all the live seminars and SMS and emails and autoresponder. Like, I didn't know any of that stuff. I had to learn. I remember even starting out from like WordPress, and I had to learn how to code some of the HTML, colors and stuff like that. So I think that was a challenge. The challenge is that there was no step-by-step process for me.
Yep.
I had to kind of like figure things out myself. Of course, I bought many books, attended many programs, but it's almost like none of the programs out there show you the entire process. It's always like a bit of here, a bit of there. Like you go attend a Facebook program, and then it teach you Facebook. Then you realize that actually, you need a funnel.
Yeah.
You attend a funnel, then you realize that now you know funnel, now you know traffic, right? But what are you gonna sell? Then you realize you need to learn how to create an offer. So it's kind of like bits and pieces here and there. So it was like figuring things out every step of the way.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest challenge for me.
So that was a couple of years ago, right? Now, do you think that that's still a big issue, or do you feel that now there are a lot more holistic programs in the market today? It makes it easier for new people to want to come in to learn, right? Do you feel that now the space is actually a lot easier for them to come in, or do you feel that it's still a big problem that we face right now?
So personally, I feel that the economics of things, right? I mean, like if you look at the whole economics of how this whole education market works, is that it doesn't make sense for one person to be an all-rounder.
Okay.
It doesn't, because in terms of branding, it's hard for you to be branded as an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Can you imagine I come to you and say, I know everything?
Yeah.
I'm not specialized, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason why when you learn from, you got to learn from different mentors, you got to learn from different coaches. Like I started to accept the fact that no one has all the answer. And when you look at one person for all the answer, that's scary as well, because that is where you join a cult. Where one person, whatever he say is right? And we know that there's no perfect human being, right? Every human being, there's a chance that they can, they can make mistakes, or they may not have all the answers. So I feel that over this period, I started to realize that there's no one person you can go to. Like even when people learn digital marketing from me, I always tell them like go out the program as well. Like I won't have all the answers for you. Like I know what I know best. I know video ads very well. I know Facebook very well. I know funnels very well. But when it comes to other stuff like offer creation, I'm good, but I'm not the best. Right? When it comes to YouTube, I know nothing about YouTube. I'm very open about it. I don't try to hide the fact that I don't know. I'm very open that this is my world. I know this part of the world. The other part of the world that I don't. And there are sometimes in your business you need to learn some things, right? You need to learn YouTube. You need to learn maybe TikTok. You need to learn other areas that I cannot teach you. So that's when I encourage people, to go ahead and sign up, learn from different mentors, and make the connection for yourself.
That's something actually I really like, and I realize it's not so common in the space, is that you are very open to say that feel free to go and invest in other programs because I'm not the best at everything. Because what I see from some course trainer, sometimes they'll be like, my way is the way, and if you just take it, you get to achieve like whatever you want. And like, at least that's from what I see.
So I feel that is maybe a form of insecurity.
Insecurity,
maybe. I don't know, because I think it's ultimately how you see the world. Is your worldview, right? Because if you live in a world of scarcity, right, you feel that if your student buy other program, they won't buy your program, or they should have spent the money with you. But the truth is that people have all kinds of options. If I buy book A, doesn't mean I won't buy book B, right? In fact, how many books do you have at home?
A lot.
A ton of it, right? So I always feel that like there are two ways to do a business. The first way is I'm an author, you're an author, right? I have 10,000 readers, you have 10,000 readers, let's say, right? And the traditional way of people doing business, the scarcity way, is that I'm gonna go on Amazon and write bad reviews about your book, so that hopefully some of your readers will come to mine. Right? And then we go under this attacking each other. For what? The idea is that my 10,000 followers can have more than 2 books. Your 10,000 followers can have more than 2 books. What if I read your book and I say and I tell the 10,000 followers that's following me and say that there are some ideas here that is good for you guys. And because I do that, you may do the same for me. So what happens now? Your 10,000 followers may buy my book. My 10,000 followers may buy your book. Now we both have 20,000 followers. Everyone wins. Right? I think it's the same for programs because there is no, especially knowledge. Right? If you're selling a program, you're selling education, you're selling knowledge. There is no scarcity of knowledge. There's none. There's no scarcity of knowledge. Information is everywhere. Right?
Once someone learns it, as in it doesn't deprive someone else from learning it for sure.
So I mean, for sure, like if someone else has a better program, go for it. You know, I would go for it. Right? I don't have all the answers. So if someone tell you that they have all the answers, then I think there's something I think there's a big red flag about it about a person.
So speaking about causes, right? So currently for yourself, how much do you think you have spent in causes in over your course of your lifetime?
I honestly cannot recall. My first ever program was when I was 17. So I really can't recall, but if I were to add everything up, I think it could be close to 6 figures minimum.
Close to 6 figures? I mean, like, you've been attending courses since 17, right? And over the time, I'm sure you have seen, you have been following a lot of your course mates, your fellow students, and I'm sure you might observe some of the students that they have attended the same exact course as you, received the same exact information, done the same exercises, but they actually achieve drastically different results, right? So what, at least in your personal experience, right, are some of the traits or characteristics of students you feel that actually achieve way faster and better results than the students that are still kind of stuck or still moving in a pretty slow pace?
I think is the mindset. I mean, if that answered your question. I think mindset is something that most people have heard of. But they underestimate this word mindset. Because they think it's cliche, overused, right? Everybody's talking about mindset. But I feel that is the start of everything. Because if you go to a program with the mindset that you're going to apply, you're going to apply, right? But I feel that a lot of people, when they go to a program, their mindset is to find an easy way out. And you can't blame them because a lot of marketers sell it that way, right? Like you buy my system, you follow this system, you're going to get rich, right? So I think also partly because of the marketing, but at the same time, I really feel that it's the mindset that of what you're going to use these things that you're going to learn, the tools that you're going to learn, how you're going to use it. And knowing that it's going to take hard work. You're not going to go to a 3-day program and then hooray, your life is changed. And now you're a leader or now you are a marketer, right? You got to put in the work. You got to put in the effort. You got to put in the struggle. Because even sometimes when you go into a program, you don't get all the answers.
For sure.
Right? Because you only get more questions actually when you start doing, right? But that's the point, because when you start doing, then you get deeper understanding, deeper level of questions that you have to solve. And the more you solve it, the deeper you go.
So thanks for sharing. So I think like definitely mindset is a very key thing, right? And you actually point out a few parts on the mindset that's something to watch out for. Your intention when you go in, like are you actually applying or are you waiting for the easy way out? So these are things that are very important, right? So I have some like friends and audience, right, members that when they attend the course, they're like, oh, I'm going to work very hard, I'm going to do what it takes. But over time, that desire falls off, that mindset falls off, right? So what might be some of like tips or advice for this group of people that they do have that mindset, they want to do something to change their lives, but somehow it fell off one way or the other?
Change your environment.
Absolutely.
It's pretty straightforward. I truly believe that, again, like mindset, right? The environment is one of the most underrated key of success. You see, when you go to a program, you're in a different experience, you're in a different environment. There are people beside you who are business owners, you know, who have the right mindset, who is motivated, and you are hanging around them, right? And energy, in a way, energy rubs off, right? If I spend time with someone who is high energy level, the energy will rub off on me, right? I spend some time with people who are positive, the energy level will rub off on me. Their positive energy will rub off on me. So I think the reason why people have a yo-yo lifestyle, you know, they go to event, it's like going to a summit, right? A mountain. And then, you know, when they go back home, they go back down to the valley. And most of the time it's because they go back to the same group of people that they used to hang out with. Right? The same group of people who are not motivated, the same group of people who are maybe toxic people, who shut you down your dreams, who you know, tell you things like, you know, don't daydream, you know, please just be realistic. Come on, just work a job, you know, why do you want to do all this kind of stuff? You let all these naysayers, toxic people affect you. And I don't care how strong you think you are. I don't care how strong will you think you are, right? I believe willpower is limited.
For sure. And that's why environment is...
Exactly. If you constantly have people nagging at you, right, you're going to eventually give in, right? And I feel that that's one of the reasons why, you know, people motivated, they go to a program, I want to do something, and then they die down after a while. They're not hanging out with the right people.
So when you talk about environment, right, I always like to share with my friends, my audience, that it's not even just about the physical people you hang out with, right? So I always say that because a lot of us spend time on social media and whatnot, right? It's actually about the digital environment that you surround yourself with. Who are you following? Who are the Facebook pages you like? Your Instagram channels, the YouTube channels and all. So, and when you keep surrounding yourself, not just in the physical people, right? When you just surround yourself with like a lot of positivity, people who does business, that are successful, right? You're going to be way more likely to have a lot more desire, and all, which I felt that worked for me in that sense. When I started following, adding friends that I wanted to emulate and wanted to follow as well. So then moving on to the question about following through, right? Actually applying what they learned. A lot of people, when they apply, then all the questions start coming in, and a lot of them get overwhelmed, right? So what would your quick advice be for this group of people that after a while they want to go through it, and yes, there's some motivation, but suddenly they become overwhelmed because there are just so many things
too many questions?
Too many questions to do.
So here's what I think. When someone has too many questions, sometimes it's not the questions. They are using the questions as a way to avoid doing something.
I see. Wow.
Right? Sometimes you know what you need to do. That's the truth. And I mean, it's quite simple, right? Like if you have if you are learning investment or you're learning marketing, you go to someone or your mentor, they can usually already tell you what's going on. You just need to focus on this. You just need to focus on that, and that's it. You just gotta do it. And that's why having the right mentor is important, right? You just gotta. Sometimes you just need to follow and do it first before asking too many questions. You know, I mean, of course, do your due diligence, right? Not believing everything that you see up front. There must be a discernment there, right? But in what I'm saying is that as long as you have done your due diligence on your mentor, you know that they are good, you know that they have results, then, you know, just follow whatever they say. You know, don't ask too many questions. You do it first, you will get it. Sometimes you will never get the answer until you do it. Because if I have a question today on marketing, right, and you are a marketing guru, right, I ask you how many thousand questions, the way you tell me will never be the same as me experiencing myself. And instead of doing the work, sometimes, and it's a subconscious thing, that's the scary part, it's a subconscious thing. Because I don't want to do it, because it's so hard, because it takes effort, it takes time. Instead of doing it, I go into this victim mode or self-pity mode, right? Where I just go, wow, very tough. A lot of questions. What's the how, right? Because they want to avoid doing it. Do you realize that? I think that will be my answer. My answer will be different 2 years ago, but recently I realized that, because I realized that in myself. You know, I'm not condemning people who are doing that, because I realize I'm doing that myself. Like even I, you know, I've been in entrepreneurship for like 11 years. I still catch myself in that cycle. What about people who start off? And then I realized this, like that's the truth. Like every time I meet someone, I give them a bunch of stuff to do. You know, they don't do it. Sometimes they don't do it. Not everybody. Some people do it, right? And they will always try to overwhelm themselves with a bunch of questions. So the advice I will have is don't overthink. And practice this thing called just-in-time learning. Right? So only learn what you need at that point of time. Don't try to learn everything.
Yeah.
I think that's also another issue of overwhelm. Like, oh, I need to get everything right first. I need to learn this, I need to learn that, I need to learn this. Then I will start doing. But it doesn't work that way, right? It's a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
It's, I would say it's a faith-based game. The next step doesn't appear until you take the first step.
Yeah.
All right? You take the first step, the next step will appear.
Yeah.
You take the next step will appear. Right? There's no point trying to figure things out and ask yourself a bunch of questions. Try to learn
everything nicely.
Try to learn
before.
everything first.
Yeah.
I didn't learn everything. I started out learning traffic. I do. Then I realized that I need to learn offer. Then I learned offer. Then I realized I need to learn funnel. Right. So it is a process. But if I try to learn everything at one go, I probably will not be getting the results I have today.
Yeah, that's a very powerful sharing, right?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, probably is it the Asian education mindset and whatnot,
Yeah.
is they want to get everything like perfect first before they step in. But then, like what you shared, right? And I think something that I've been hearing quite a lot of is that actually it's all about taking that imperfect action, right? Because when you do the things, when you experience all this, your learning becomes way much better, and then you get a lot more progress from there.
I think to add on to that, the mindset behind is because we are afraid to fail. If you think about it, like the reason why we ask so many questions because we don't want to take the step. Because when we take that step, we are afraid that we will fail. And then when we fail, we get all kinds of pressure from people. We get all kinds of condemnation from people or shame, and so they don't dare to do it. So I would say, be willing to fail.
Okay.
Don't care about what people think about you. That's just to add on to that point.
Okay, sure. Thanks so much for sharing. So then, I like this question because I feel that a lot of people, at least from my community, like a lot of them are looking to start like their new venture, whether it's a new business or a new activity and whatnot, hoping to earn more income. What would be some of your advice for these people that are just starting out? Like maybe your top 2 or 3 pieces of advice for these people that are just about to start out. They are still a bit afraid, but they are willing to do whatever it takes, but they're still a bit unsure of what to go about, how to go about doing it.
How to go about doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I made a post about this before, somewhere a few months ago on my Facebook.
Yep.
I talk about this thing called don't follow your passion, follow your efforts. I think when you're unsure, once again, because it's a faith-based game, right? You need to take the first step, and it doesn't matter which step.
Yeah.
I'm a believer that when we have different, we all have a destiny. Yeah. But we all have we are provided with different paths. I believe that God is abundant. Okay. And therefore, He has blessed us with many different paths to lead to our destiny. Yeah. So I think what people tend to overthink is that, which is the right path? There's no right path. Actually, there can be 10 right paths. I think today I could go into real estate. Yep. I'll probably do well in there. I can go any kind of sales job. I'll probably do well in there, right? But it's just that I decided to choose marketing. Yeah. Right. So I realized that, and I started out as a magician. I was doing very well in that as well. That was a performer, right? I was an entertainer, and I was doing well in that. So I'm not saying that I'm very good. I'm just saying that I accept the fact that I could have many paths. Yeah. So pick one skill. Just decide one skill, right? Like, okay, if they want to start a business, then what kind of business do you want to start, right? Social media, agency. I don't know what kind of business are there nowadays. I'm so much in marketing that maybe e-commerce business, right? Or they want to start a brick and mortar business. Yeah. Just choose one. Pick one, and work with it for at least 2 years. It's so hard to give a timeline nowadays, because I know the world changes so fast. But I would say work on that for 1 or 2 years, whether you like it or not. So like for example, for me, when I first learned marketing, I didn't like it because I'm a salesperson. I'm a front guy. I'm a front end person. I like to meet people. I like to talk. Right? I like to share stories. I like to sell. But when it comes to marketing, it's all about behind the scenes, writing copy. Honestly, I hate it at the start. But I knew I had to do it, right? Because I didn't have the money to hire good marketers and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of like I decided that okay, I'm gonna work on this skill. And I worked at it for like at least a year. The result wasn't that good for a year, but it started to get traction. Yep. So I feel that, we should just pick 1 or 2 skills, work for it for 1 or 2 years, and then see whether there's result. And more importantly, see whether it gives you life. Yep. See whether it energizes you. right? So you do something, a lot of times you don't want to do it at the start, but after you do it, you achieve something, it kind of energizes you. You kind of feel good about it. And you're like, hey, actually there's something I could explore, right?
Yeah.
Then you decide, right? Sometimes it's, you may work at it for 1 year. And the reason why I say 1 year is because I don't think you can achieve much in 3 months. It's hard. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to hit a breakthrough in, just working 3 months on something. So hit at it for a year at least, even if you don't like it. And then there's result, it gives you life, then go for it. But if it doesn't work, then it's fine. Do it, choose another one, right? Don't be rushed. I think what I like about, Gary Vee actually says something about like how everyone is running their own race. Right? The reason why people are so afraid to pick is because they are afraid that they'll be left behind. Because if they choose the wrong one, they don't like it, they wasted 1 year, and then their friends are ahead of them. But so what? It's your own journey, right? I think it's fine to spend 2 to 3 years to figure out what you really want, and then finally finding something that you want, and you do it for the rest of your life. Then to procrastinate for 3 years, you're gonna waste the 3 years anyway. So
I absolutely agree, right? Like, because a lot of people, like, they're afraid of falling behind their peers, but the thing is, some of their peers might not be enjoying what they want, but just by having that delay of 2-3 years, when you finally move forward, right, you're going to feel a lot more fulfilled, you're going to feel a lot more joy, you're going to feel a lot more because you're doing something that you really want and could do for a long time in life. All right, so then moving on to like one of my favorite questions, right? Like, so what are some of your top regrets you have had in your journey so far? So at least from your point of when you started your foreign entrepreneurship and whatnot, like some of the regrets, not so much in terms of I wish I would have never done it because I'm learning from it, right? But some of the top learning lessons you might have had that you would like to share with my audience here.
I think top, I do not use the word regret because
I understand.
I feel that everything happens for a reason, and of course there are many mistakes that I made. Some of them I'm not proud of it. I've done many stupid mistakes that sometimes I wish I can take it back, but it is what it is. And without this mistake, it will not, it will not kind of mold me as
in the future.
It will not mold me as a different character, right? It will not mold my character to a different person. So I feel that everything happens for a reason. But if I could choose something that I would do it differently. Would be having the expectation that everything is always like what Grant Cardone said, 10 times harder. He has this rule called the 10x rule. It's actually a book called 10x rule. And it actually says that everything you're going to do, it will always sound easier than done. Easier said than done. It will always sound easier in your head. Like, it's an easy plan, just follow this plan for 2 years, but it's 10 times more work. Always. And I felt that my regret was, in a way, right, is there's so many things that I thought would be a lot easier than I expected. And if I would have went with the mindset that everything I'm going to do, I knew it was going to be 10 times harder, I guess I would put in a lot more work, a lot more determination. Because if you look at something and think it's easy and then it becomes very hard, you tend to be disappointed. Right? Like I'm in this for 4 years now, but yet I'm not achieving the level of success I think I should be. This kind of stuff. This usually happens because you think it's easier than expected. So I think the only thing I would change is I would go. Now I'm learning that, right? Now I'm learning that every time I start a new project, right? People always tell me that it's easy, Gabriel, just follow this. Like I get a lot of opportunity deals. And opportunity. A lot of course opportunities. Gabriel, people come to me and Gabriel, there's this new stuff, very easy one, very easy to make money. I'm like, no. Like
you've been burned many times.
As long as someone says it's easy to make money, I think most of the time, I won't say 100% of the time. Sometimes some of them are right. At least maybe 90% of the time, I know that they are inexperienced. Because someone with experience will know that everything is always harder than it seems. So I think it's to have the expectation, whatever you're going to start off with now. But don't let the expectation scare you off as well. Like, what is not hard? Right? Like, if you want to choose to work, 9 to 5, right? I don't despise people who work 9 to 5. If you're happy, go ahead. But a 9 to 5 is hard as well.
Yes, its own difficulties.
Getting rich is hard. It's 10 times, whatever you have in your head, whatever expectation, is always 10 times harder, right? But staying poor is hard as well. Right? Staying poor is hard as well. It's hard to stay it's hard to be, it's terrible to be poor.
Yeah.
Right? It's terrible to not be able to pay the bills. It's terrible to not being able to give your kids what they want. It's terrible to not be able to bring your spouse overseas.
Yeah.
It's bad as well. It's tough as well. It's difficult as well. So it's which difficult path you want to choose.
Yeah, so I think what I hear is that on some level, some people might feel that it's a bit negative of sorts, but what I feel is that everyone's going to have problems, but you choose what kind of problems you want to have. You want to have the rich people problems, or you want to have like so-called the broke people problems, and then you make a decision based on that, and your life will be based on what kind of problems do you want to solve in life. So thank you so much for sharing. I think that's a huge insight that be very, very, very inspiring, right, and useful on some level. So, but then my last question, right, for you today is, for example, like with all you have done so far, imagine all of them is gone, right? Like you lost your resources, your networks, your money, and you are then brought to a whole new city that you don't know anyone as well. So, so let's say, right, just for a quick challenge, right, like even your so-called whatever marketing knowledge and all is gone. So if you had to start from scratch, like from day zero, right, and in the next 30 days, what will you do to not only bounce back, right, to where you are today, but to go even a higher and way beyond that? Yeah.
You mean I lose all my skills?
Yeah, I think that's an additional challenge just especially for you.
If I lose all my skills?
Yeah, like to restart in terms of picking up a new skill and whatnot, yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think I would still, if I were to lose every skills I have, I would still go back to learn sales. I think the first thing I would do is to join a sales job. Some kind of, I wouldn't say job, but like
a role, sales role.
Yeah, a sales position, or join real estate, insurance, or whatever. Something to do with sales that is self-employed. I like self-employed because I feel that sometimes having a salary keeps you comfortable. So that's the reason why I don't like work. I've never worked a job in my life. So, but I'll pick a self-employed job that can teach me sales. I think even after all the bad things that happened to me over the my first 7 years in sales and entrepreneurship, I am in a way still very grateful for the sales experience I had. And I think because of that, it helped me in many areas. I think ultimately sales and communication is still the most important skills for everything. I mean, even if you're not selling, if you want to convince your wife to marry you, your girlfriend to marry you, right? Is sales, right? So I think that will be the number one skill. I will go back and learn that, and I will get very good at it again before I start anything else. So really, like, I mean, sales, like a lot of people are sharing that if there's one skill you need to master, not even for entrepreneurship, I would say, like even for like if you're working in a managerial role and whatnot, sales is still the most important skills that you can have. Communication, influence.
So thank you so much for the wonderful interview, right? Like, I learned so much myself and learned a bit more about your story. So where can my audience find you? You're going to find out more about what you do and just want to learn a bit more from you.
I think if I can remember, sorry, I hardly do that, but two areas you can find me. The first one is for my Facebook page. You can just go to facebook.com/Gabriel Wong.HPM. Right, .HPM stands for High Performance Marketer. And then the other one is you can go to my group. All right, so I think it's group/Funnel Lions.
Usually I just search Funnel Lions if you want to get
you can just go to Facebook, search Funnel Lions. Which is FUNNEL, right? Lions, LIONS, right? You will find my group. It's a small group right now. I'm keeping it small because right now I'm dropping a lot of digital marketing, free training inside the group. I whatever I'm doing in my agency right now, I'm testing, I'm figuring things out, and then whatever that works, I will always bring back to the group. It's kind of like I search for answer and I'll bring the group back to this. I'll bring the answers back to the group. So you can find me in these two places.
So I just want to add a quick one, right? If you have followed Gabriel, like, because you know him, but you haven't joined his group, right, you definitely should. Because in terms of the training that is conducted, right, as in it's a lot of things that is like, it's really, he goes deep into it. And I've implemented it a lot myself, and I've seen results for myself as well. So you should definitely join the group if you haven't. So anyway, with that, we end the interview today. Thank you so much. Really look forward to like where else we'll be going. So we'll see you at our next segment for our Master Implementer interview series. All right, thank you everyone. Bye bye.